destroy, but may need to destroy imperfect things to make room for perfect ones. 115. The Son of God is the ultimate end of the universe. It is the reason that everything exists, and it is the goal that everything strives to become. 116. God may be called joy, since He brings happiness to everyone. 117. God is the most beautiful being in the universe, and the name of God is beauty. Okay, this is from page 7. 118. Xanadu God is the King of kings, the Lord of lords, and the idol of idols. 119. God is the chosen, He is first among all things, names of God. 120. God is the greatest love of all. He may be called the true human magnet. 121. God is our refuge, the one to when we have nowhere else to go for help, when we need a mighty, wise, and caring shoulder. 122. God is our Father, name of God, since we are like children next to Him, and since He is our Creator. 123. God is the center of the universe. 124. God is truth itself. 125. God is the true guide, name of God. 126. God allows separate people to communicate without knowing it by being a telepathic conduit. So in other words, if God exists, you may affect people in the world and not even know it. 127. God allows the separate people to influence each other's lives through Him. 128. God knows much more about you than you do. 129. The Xanadu God can divide by zero. God can subtract to infinities or do any operations involving combinations of zero and infinity. These are constant numbers. 130. The Xanadu God can change the world completely just because of you. You may just have one idea and God applies it before you do anything at all. 131. God can use fractal geometry or partial dimensions. Fractal geometry, I don't know, I think that's when you have a pattern that's repeated, I think. 132. The Xanadu God is the sun, question mark. Many stellar objects like the planets and the stars were seen to be gods before, although had a superior God. And we become stars like Him when we die, question mark. A form of energy with many powers, animals too. Or are stars the bodies of God and angels so we can locate them or see them? For their souls are not located in space and will not be seen. So just about everyone saw God and the angels. That is, that we are immortal, slight deviation from the relationship to sun, and we would all die instantly. If the stars die, new ones are created. Stars have ability to move themselves freely in space and are free in other ways. Only the sun is more limited because of us, question mark. 133. God is surrounded by top philosophers, scientists, and entertainers, saints, etc., and does a lot in the world with their help. 134. God must make Himself and man and women so great that they feel all each other's presence and cannot fathom each other except only by considering only one part at a time. They feel overwhelmed. 135. God is all around us, only He moves at super speed, and it is too fast for us to see Him, since our eyes cannot pick up things beyond a certain speed. That's what happened in Star Trek, the original series episode, where the aliens on the ship moved so fast that they could not be seen. Actually, Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock were speeded up so they could see them. And Mr. Spock fixed all the problems of the spaceship at super speed before he came down to regular speed. 136. The Xanadu God is always one step ahead of you. 137. The Xanadu God may block ideas from entering your mind or make other ideas enter your mind to create a mind situation in order to create a unique test of your abilities or character. Einstein created Gedanken experiments to test his theories and logic, thought experiments. But here it is real experiments to see what choices you'll make or ideas you'll get to. God learns from us since we are free, and free agents cannot be known a priori completely. A chain or tree of infinite possible choices all made up to us, but influenced or determined by nature, people, or God at times. Limited freedom. Solution to freedom, determinism paradox. So that's my solution. Recall God only knows everything that can be known a priori, so he doesn't know everything. He needs us to help him acquire a posteriori realm of knowledge, but he is a pretty good guesser, quote unquote. The more intelligent you are, the better you can see the future or things before they happen. Since he is wiser, some decisions are best left up to God. The mark of genius is to see an event in the seed, someone said. Some Chinese saying. God is not omniscient, not omnipotent. God needs us. Number 38. God, when things are necessary for justice and success in life or primary goals, then not much is left to chance. God's hands. He controls the events, and you may succeed against incredible odds, a miracle. Even in the planet of the Organians on Star Trek, the original series, they succeed against incredible odds because the Organians were not primitive. They helped them out really. 39. God, the perfect love matchmaker, Cupid question mark, very complex to find a man and woman amongst billions of people who are the most perfect for each other. 140. The Xanadu God is the perfect career matchmaker. It is very hard to decide what career is best suited for each kind of person. Billions of people in a hierarchical structure, each with different skills and talents, and millions of possible jobs and requiring training and talent. 141. God can be understood partly by us, since it is not easy to love God, since if you can't recognize his qualities and powers, you can't really love him. Repeat question mark. Shakespeare. Maimonides says, love is proportional to knowledge. 142. God has PhDs in dozens of fields, including physics, biology, psychology, computer science, mathematics, theology, philosophy, religion, acting, music, economics, politics, etc. and understands the grand masters, and he created new intellectual systems, and also wins major intellectual prizes in all of these fields, like Nobel Prize or Fields Medal or Kyoto Prize or Templeton Prize, etc. 143. God is the greatest love of all, and so must know this, and hence prove that he exists and what he's like. But man is greater, since earth is multiplied by probability that objects exist. So need strong proofs that God exists first. Unless it's the infinite probability times existence. Number 144. God has a very high standard, so you may feel shy to speak to or act with him in the audience. Page 9. 145. The Xanadu God can only move objects at limited speed if Einstein is right. But like I said, I don't think that is a true limit on God. Speed of light is only perception speed. In fact, I don't know if we find another medium instead of light. They might be faster than the speed of light, superluminal speed. In fact, even maybe they solved the Maxwell's equation incorrectly, because they only as assume the solution of a special type may be f of x plus or minus vt, really. Maybe should I use, maybe that's distance, should be like f and, or x plus or minus vt minus 1/2 at squared for distance increase, because it might be have acceleration. It's more complex. I solved it somewhere. F and g. 146 is not under God. If God uses a medium to see the world, then it can't go faster than the speed of light, so it limits greatly his perception of the world, if Einstein is right. 147, God can convert matter to energy or energy into matter, if Einstein is right. Well, this could be very important. 148, God cannot know both position and momentum of a particle to exact precision at the same time if Heisenberg is right. Well, for Heisenberg it was partly because to observe a particle you hit it with a beam of light. So your question is, how can you observe things in the world without distorting them? Even there's a problem, even if you didn't distort it. The question is, it takes time for the light to hit the particle and come back to you. By the time it does, the particles move. And 149, God cannot know both energy produced and time it occurs to exact precision if Heisenberg is right. 150, God can thus not know the future exactly, since need to know exactly these conjugate variables, so he has a probable view of the world if Heisenberg is right, but anyway have freedom. 151, God is made up of exactly one kind of simple particle and one simple force. Well, in physics they want to kind of reduce everything to fermions and bosons. 152, God and the Xanadu goddess created a son and a daughter who one day will come to earth and be adopted and be raised by human parents, a variation of a fictional Superman story. 153, well, in Greek religion, I think they have Zeus and Athena, I think, are the god and goddesses, and they have children. 153, the Xanadu God chooses leaders in political system and have a perfect system. 154, the Xanadu God is the leader of, a leader has to be able to make difficult decisions, needs a huge scope of knowledge, great subtlety of thought, even the ability to make quick decisions when necessary, create plans to solve complex problems, to reach one or more simultaneous goals and under several constraints, and see problems before they get worse at right place and time. 155. God may exist in the same space and time that we do, that we and rest of the universe do, both physical and spiritual, but his being is of a different kind, so that all coexist in the same space-time. But for Spinoza, really, God was a super being, or if it make him alive, really, in some sense. And we were modes of the attributes of God, so we are beings. If we're just modes of attributes, so God is super being. So he can exist in the same place we do. 156. The Xanadu God is an idol or idol of idols. No, more exactly, God is the ideal. I know if this is repetitive. 157. The Xanadu God is the ideal ruler for humanity, and man creates a spaceship which is the ideal tool for humanity. Well, today you have to travel from place to place by